Folks, thanks for joining us today. My name's John Dubas with Premier Marketing, and we'll be spending the next 45 minutes to an hour or so, quite possibly shorter than that, discussing some of the direct mail options you have that are available to help you create year-round opportunity in the Medicare and Final expense markets. It's a topic of great interest to most folks at this time of the year, and the new normal makes it a little more pressing as well, since we have different ways of reaching out to people and making certain that we can address the needs that they have for the products that we offer. Today's presentation is being recorded, and it, along with information we reference throughout the course of the presentation, will be sent to you by email. It will have a number of links in it and an occasional attachment, so check your spam. In certain circumstances, it goes there because we blind copy people, and those connections sometimes will drag you into that system. If you will note on the software itself, you have a section that has a portion for questions, and one of them in there right now is if we can test the audio. So if you are hearing me fine, if you would raise your hand in the system, we'll make certain that it proceeds. Generally, we don't have any challenges there, but I want to make certain that it works for you. So in addition to the normal circumstances we have with the different webinars that we present, we want to make certain that we do a level set to start today's presentation, and that includes speaking a little bit about the background of Premier Marketing, where we're a national marketing organization founded in 1968. That's part of the Integrity Marketing platform that has offices across the country. And we serve as an insurance wholesaler, offering products to the public through independent insurance agents such as yourself. And those contracts are available to the agents at the highest possible commission levels available, with recruiting contracts available to those who qualify. So as I mentioned, being founded in 1968, we recently celebrated a milestone in our history, our 50th anniversary. We consider that a big accomplishment for what began as a small family organization, a small family agency in rural Nebraska that's grown into one of the largest organizations of its type in the Medicare and Final expense space. But we do so through a complete portfolio of insurance products that include the Medicare programs, the Medicare Advantage, the Medicare supplement plans, the standalone Part D programs. But we also offer a full portfolio of life insurance and annuity products, final expense life insurance, pre-need plans, long and short-term care products, disability income plans, and ancillary benefits such as dental, vision, hearing, critical illness, cancer plans, and hospital indemnity programs. The Medicare Advantage portfolio includes the national carriers and many of the regional carriers that you find needed in your space. And we carry that same philosophy over into the standalone PDP portfolio, where those Part D plans are available through those national carriers with our organization. Our Medicare supplement portfolio is very large and robust, and we have tools in this area as well to help you be successful in that space. And that philosophy also carries over to the ancillary products, where in each of the categories, the national leaders are there for you. And these programs are very helpful in not only creating another revenue stream for you, but they are a unique way of also marketing and also giving you the opportunity, most importantly, to serve those additional needs that your prospects and clients have in this space. When we look at the Medicare market overall, you come on a program like this, everyone speaks to you of the aging of the baby boomers, the silver tsunami, the one person every 10 seconds turning 65. If you look at that as an overall number of the Medicare market, however, you're a little off, because some of the folks won't take advantage of their full Medicare benefits when they turn 65 for one reason or another. But there's also about a sixth to a seventh of the population that are under the age of 65 and are accessing their Medicare benefits because of disability. So we want to make certain that we look at the population as a whole, address the needs that they have, because they have some challenges with health conditions. 2/3 of them have 3+ chronic conditions, and they also have challenges with their wallet sometimes. and we want to make certain that we can set them up with programs that help them budget efficiently, access the funds they need to get the best care possible for their situation. All those choices give us a multitude of ways that we can reach out to people through different direct mail campaigns to address the decision process that people have in Medicare. Because in all honesty, they don't have to do anything. They don't have to pick up anything else. They can self-insure for the Part B coverage even that they could decline if they wanted to. Many, however, will pick up just a Part D plan, or some will go with the standardized Medicare modernized supplement or the Part C programs. And we want to make certain that we have the product available to help them, but also use these unique options that they have as a means to reach out to them and draw their interest to ourselves and to our products. What we see as choices when someone first comes on to Medicare is a pretty even split between Medicare Advantage and Med-Sup programs, so that gives us an opportunity to be flexible in some of our marketing as well. So when we look at what we are looking to do moving forward into 2021, as this says, every new beginning comes from some other beginning's end. Ecclesiastes, turn the page, so to speak. To everything there is a season. So we're looking to make certain that some of the plans that we have put in place for the remainder of this year up into next AEP, strange to say that when we just finished this last one, but it gives us the opportunity to take advantage of the current situation, and there are means to do that, and make certain that we incorporate multiple programs into a personalized marketing plan that will be comprehensive for us and able to draw as many people to us and the product portfolio that we offer. And we feel that a coordinated activity using direct mail in any of the other type of programs that you have available will aid you to that end most significantly. And despite what we hear everywhere, social media doesn't fix everything. There are some challenges in using that system. There are some advantages in using that as well, but we find that much of the strong, reliable, proven ways of reaching out to folks can make a huge difference. And a lot of times as agents, we want to use our creativity to help create that exam or that opportunity. The challenge that we have is we don't have nearly the experience as many of the mail houses do. They know what they need to do. They know how to drive results, and we need to relax and benefit from their experience because we don't have to reinvent the wheel. They're very good at what they do. And one of our favorite partners in this space, in the direct mail space, are the folks over at Lead Concepts. And they have some very remarkable programs that can help us pursue business in the Medicare space for healthcare products and in the final expense and burial policies that are available as well. And so that's the point of today's webinar. We have asked our partners over at Lead Concepts to come on and help speak to us about the direct mail options that are available. And that organization is Lead Concepts. They have a remarkable substance of success in what they have done in the past. They have a great reputation. And if you are any of those folks that are active on social media and speak to other agents in the backroom Medicare places, you'll find that they are the most frequent house that receives recommendations. And we're proud to have them as partners. So we've invited Chris Weir to come on and give us some additional information about some of the offerings, the systems that come into play, and how you can use these programs to draw interest to yourself and your agency and your products year-round. We're very pleased to have the lead prophet with us today. He's on the road and has graciously consented to help us from that as well. So at this particular point in time, we'll ask Chris to come on and give us a little bit of insight and help with the offerings that they have, because as it says on the slide, greatness just entered the room. So Chris, are you available there for us? I think we may have a bit of audio difficulty. I apologize for that. Bear with me a moment. There we go. Well, we should be having some audio here. Pardon me. Chris, are you available? Here we go. Well, I apologize for the difficulty. Let's see here. We may have to ad lib here just a little bit until we're able to resolve our audio difficulty with Chris. Let's see what we can do here to rectify this. There we go. Once again, I apologize for the delay. And I think we'll just ad lib here a bit. We've lost Chris for a moment, and I think that we will be able to pull him back in there. And let's see here. We need to call in. I think we've lost some internet function here. And Chris, I'm looking to get you the number to call in. Bear with me. I'm going to temporarily stash the, oh, there we go. Is that you, Chris?
Well, I've just called in on my cell phone. Does this work?
Yeah, I can hear you. We can ad lib if you like. I've frozen the screen here, but we can share the screen out. You won't be able to see it though. If you like, we can proceed with what you had discussed, where you can do a general synopsis, and I'll roll through some different things.
Absolutely, that's just fine. Can everyone hear me?
I can, and let's see here. Yeah, we're showing that. Yeah, we're getting audio through. You bet.
All right. So if everybody can hear me, that's awesome. Flexibility is the name of the game. So I'll just turn that off and go to my cell phone, and here we are. And that's how I start my speeches when I get up in front of a room. You know, greatness entered the room, and nobody stopped to notice. And that's a reference to the insurance agent that walks into the room and has done all the training, done all the prep work, understands every product in his or her bag, and made themselves an expert in the industry. And here they walk into a room, going to do a presentation, and people think, well, that's just some person, but it's not. You, as an agent, have gone to great lengths to be an expert in your field. So why not assume greatness just entered the room in you and off and running in your presentation? For me, I started Lead Concepts 30 years ago, and I understand leads and direct mail and all that entails. For me, greatness enters the room when I enter the room, because I am an expert in my industry, as you are. The very first thing I'll tell you about lead concepts is that we are uniquely different from every other direct mail company. When you call a direct mail lead generation company and ask them how many leads are they going to get back on your mailing, they will tell you, we can't guarantee how many cards are going to come back. So you're going to spend $500 or $1,000 and hope that the response rates come in the way they think they are, but there is no guarantee. At Lead Concepts, there is a guarantee. We know what the mailing is going to pull based on the last 30 years of history. And I know from talking to 30 to 50 insurance agents every day, the first question they ask is, well, how do I know I'm going to get cards back? Well, we know how many cards you're going to get back. We're going to tell you how many cards you're going to get back based on where you want to mail, who you want to mail, and what you want to mail, whether that's Medicare or final expense. When you're calling Lead Concepts, the question really for you will be to determine, are you looking for the lead that's going to get you the most responses? And that's a discussion with me or your salesperson at Lead Concepts. Or are you looking for something that's a little bit more direct? You're willing to take a lower response rate because you're working the leads yourself and would rather have something that's a little bit more direct. Don't want to get the incomes too low if your final expense. And your salesperson will help craft a program that makes the most sense for you. If you're simply looking for where you're going to get the biggest pull, just tell the salesperson that's what you want. We'll look for the right area to mail and the best demographic selection to mail using the highest responding mail piece, whether it's for Medicare or final expense. Trick is to understand why you called in the first place, what you're looking for, so that we can build a program that makes the most sense for you. A year-round marketing program, Indirect Mail, is for us a simple process. It takes 21 days from the day you call and place your order until leads come back. So as soon as you start to see your first set of leads come in, that would be the time to call with some more zip codes. In my case, most of my customers just text me their zip codes or their counties, and we're off and running with the next order. So every 21 days, you've got an order in the pipeline. It creates a natural flow that makes sense, and it's easy to remember when you need to call, because as soon as you start getting leads, that's the time to reach back out. Now, one of the things Lead Concepts does exceptionally well after 30 years is we do what is called fanatical prospecting. And that's what I would be looking for you guys to do as well. Once you've learned everything you need to learn, the toughest thing is finding out who's willing to sit down across the kitchen table and listen to everything you've learned over the years. So prospecting is everything and everywhere. And for me, that's why I rented an RV and left my home on Tuesday to go see my clients. Face-to-faces, client calls, client follow-ups, marketing to your existing clients, making sure your Facebook page makes sense, your website is up to date. The website has to be updated every month, by the way, or it will not generate leads. You've got to water your website like a plant, and you got to do that forever. We do websites, we do digital marketing. There's lots of places to do all of these things. You can do direct mail with Lead Concepts or somebody else. You can do digital with me or somebody else, but you should be doing it. You should be email marketing, and you should be out at trade shows, at events, local community. Marketing is your number one. Every morning when you wake up, that's the one thing that you've got to be doing every single day in order to create the opportunities that you're looking for. It's called Fanatical Prospecting, and I love talking about it and could get on a call at any time with with anyone. Hey, John, can people see the screen? Do we want to walk through the slides?
Absolutely.
I have samples of some of my mailers on here. Before we leave, everyone will be given my cellular phone and will be able to text me at any time. I'm on commission just like everybody else. There's my production space, 35,000 square feet. Very proud of our building. Again, after 30 years, it's taken some time to get to this spot. Back in the back, you can't really see those banners up on the wall very well, but they indicate some of our growth. The most recent banner shows that this year in August alone, we did 7 million pieces of mail in August alone. That's a record. The prior year in August, we did 5 million, which was a record. We're growing in leaps and bounds, and that's because we guarantee the results of every mailing that you do. That is our blue ocean, and nobody else does that. We do have samples of the leads on here. One of the things that we have done this year is we have removed the date of birth option that you see on this mail piece. We no longer ask a senior to fill out their date of birth on the mailer. So when you get a mailer back in the mail, your first inkling is, oh boy, I don't know how old these people are. But we put under the barcode the date of birth of both the person named on the card and the spouse. So you've got the spouse's name and the name of the person who is on the card. So when you're calling, you know, whether it's a male or female voice, you've got their name. These days, John, all of our mailers show a phone for home and a phone for cell both. We know from experience that you need to know when you're calling these folks, whether you're calling a landline or a cell phone, because different people seem to respond and answer different phones. So might as well have them both. And if you do have a cell phone and these folks will not answer the phone, you can text a picture of the lead with their handwriting on there, reminding them of the card they filled out and letting them know you're going to be calling them in about 15 minutes so they can please answer the phone. Getting people on the phone to set the appointment is vital. And we've given you a physical address and both a home phone and a cell phone to give you every opportunity to find these people. Date of birth, for a lot of seniors, consider that as personal information, and they don't want to give that out. They think you're going to be stealing their identity. Of course, it's public information. We're not trying to steal their identity, but if they think that, that puts us in a negative light right off the bat. Also can create some complaints from seniors. So by removing date of birth and age and simply putting it under the barcode where you know where to find it, we're eliminating the need for people to complain. A big new update for us is that we will be removing the spouse's name field if there is no spouse in the home. What we know is if we have 2 dates of birth, then there are 2 people in the home. If we have 1 date of birth, then the spouse has likely passed away. And I find it inhumane to ask somebody their spouse's name and have them write on the card, my spouse died last month or last year. I think that's inhumane, and we as a company can do better than that. If there is 1 date of birth in the data set, we will remove the spouse's name from the card so they can fill out their own name and not have to make a note on there that their spouse passed away. That's inhumane, in technology today, at least at Lead Concepts, technology will allow for that. Yeah, thank you, John. So we just left the Medicare Advantage mail piece. It's a wonderful mail piece designed for the lower income. This mailer is a straightforward Medicare supplement mailer that is often used to the low income or the high income. Very sort of clean and simple. Does not talk about low income or chronic illness. It just talks about, are you getting all the benefits that are available to you. We have the identical mailer in our portfolio that also talks about dental, vision, and hearing, prescriptions, talks about gym memberships. I have agents tell me regularly that gym memberships are vital. This mailer, John, what a great mailer. This is a Medicare supplement mailer that talks about you may have had a rate increase, and we market it to the folks that are 67 to 72 or 68 to 72 because we know that they have likely had a rate increase. This is a very high response rate when we're targeting people with money, and the Medicare supplement really has to be targeted to the 20K plus to 30K plus. Probably perfect demographic income here is $30 to $99,000 household income. Again, you'll see date of birth on these cards, but you will not see dates of birth in the future when you place an order. There are counties that oftentimes lose coverage. A carrier pulls out of a county, and this mailer is perfect for that opportunity. We will typically find out very quickly when a company has pulled out of a county because every broker in that area reaches out immediately and wants to mail the same county. In that case, of course, it's a first come, first serve. Anytime that you place an order with Lead Concepts, we're going to make sure that we have not mailed that mailer for anyone else. I learned 30 years ago that if you mail the same product to the same person for two different customers at the same time, you lose two customers very quickly. So we protect the areas for 60 days, so nobody will mail before you're done in an area. During the annual enrollment period, we move that to 30 days. The number of people mailing during the annual enrollment period is unbelievable, and we just simply cannot, during that time of year, give a 60-day, what we call a conflict. During the balance of the year, it's 60 days, whether it's final expense or Medicare supplement. Here is the creme de la creme, the T65. In a perfect world, every Medicare salesperson would have a huge list of 64-year-olds to work all the time. The 64-year-old is the perfect demographic, and when we market the T65 mailer, what we end up with is a very low response rate when we look for people who are turning 65 in 90 days. So sort of the perfect prospect there, they're turning 65 in 90 days. But when we do that, when we mail that subset, we only see about 5 cards per 1,000. Well, that's about $100 per card and unacceptable in a direct mail campaign. However, that is the truth of it. And important that you know that before you would ever place an order for that demographic selection. Our team would never take that order without bringing you up to speed on that. If we mail people who are 6 or 7 months out, we will only pull about 10 to 12 cards. People are being mailed in the 64-year-old market very, very early. And that's why by the time you get to month 6 or 7, the response rates are dramatically diminished. Now, those people are closer to making the decision, and so there's some sense to still marketing there, especially if you're the one working the lead. If you are maybe providing leads to a couple of people downline, pulling 1 to 1.2%, 10 to 12 cards would not work, way too expensive. So we market to people who are turning 65 or have just turned 64, so they're at 10 or 11 months before they turn 65, and in doing so, we may pull 30 or 40 cards for you. And in that case, you're getting a very inexpensive lead. However, you can't sell it for several months. Neither program is perfect. What you're looking for when you're talking to me or one of my salespeople is what will happen before I spend any money. that's where our expertise comes in. We don't want to take money from an agent unless they know exactly what they're buying, what to expect. We do have a mailer that is not pictured in this presentation. It's actually not in any of my catalogs. It's something I can send to any agent that reaches out to me, would like to see it. We market it to all 64 years old, whether they are 1 month or 11 months. They're for all 64s. The mailer is geared that way, and it will pull about 2 points in most areas that we mail it. And it allows for you to sell some people now, some people next month, and some you're going to have to X date out. But that's a beautiful option that is available sort of in a hybrid sense. Well, John, if you'll give me the next slide, we are marketing to our existing clients, your existing policy holders. This particular mailer is always personalized. An agent will send me something before AEP, usually in July or August. They'd like to do a mailing to their existing policy holders to make sure that they know that you're coming out. I will be coming to see you. We will make sure you have the correct policy in place for the new year. Most people will put their picture, their information on there, and even mention a couple of other products that you offer. Maybe your policyholders don't know that you sell final expense or annuities or some other product. This particular mailer is always changed, personalized, and done as an inexpensive postcard that we can mail out very, very quickly for you. There's no way to grow your base without holding on to what you've already built. And this is an important part of the process, but you do have to have a spreadsheet of your policyholders. That is something that the med sub carriers oftentimes will not provide. They don't want you rolling the business. It's a very, very important for you building a process to have a clean, valid list of your policy holders. Name, address, city, state, zip, email address, and phone numbers. You may think it's silly that I have to mention that, but I do know a lot of people don't do a good job with that, and that is a huge part of your future growth and development, hanging on to your clients properly. What do we have another slide there?
We go into the lead link.
I'm sorry?
No, we're going into lead link. I don't have another picture of a mailer.
Right. Okay, very good. Lead link is Lead Concepts CRM. All of your leads, when they arrive, are scanned and emailed to you. The day we get them, you get them. However, they're also uploaded to our CRM lead link. For an individual agent, when we email you the leads, you can take those leads and be off and running. You don't have to work in lead link at all. We will mail you the hard copies in the mail as well. So the email of a PDF and the hard copies coming in the mail may be all that you need. However, should you ever want to work in a CRM lead link, we'll have spreadsheets of every lead you've ever received, as well as images of all of those leads. In the broker space, if you're pushing leads to a downline agent, lead link is a beautiful tool for an agent that's personally producing, but also working with a handful of agents to make sure they have leads. So you can be personally producing while lead link, we're uploading leads there, and it is automatically pushing it to your agents so that they can be working as well. LeadLink is a robust and easy to use tool that we often have large brokers working with us simply because of LeadLink. For us at Lead Concepts, we want to have every possible tool available for the agent to be successful. However, when you really boil it down, what I have found the agent is looking for is how long will it take to get leads, and how do I know I'm going to get any? And those are the things we addressed in the beginning, the guarantee, knowing exactly what to expect before you spend any money. And a lead for us needs to identify the purpose of the ad. a lead should identify what it really is asking there. All of our leads mention that an insurance agent will contact you, that this information is insurance related. Our mailers are all truthful and accurate in their statements, and there are no weird or unusual markings on them that are designed to fool the seniors. There are games that some of my competitors play, and we don't play any of those games with your license or our future. I've done this for 30 years, and I'd love to do it for another 30 years. So doing it properly matters. We do the Medicare seminars. Clearly, those are waiting for the vaccine to come in. So we won't. We are having a few annuity folks moving back into the seminar space, but as of right now, I have yet to have anybody call to enter into the Medicare seminar space. And I think with COVID spiking, it's a bit early. We probably are a few months away, but when the time comes, I bet there's a lot of people that'll be chomping at the bits to get out to a Western Sizzlin', sit in the back room and hear a nice presentation, have a meal, and gosh, just be out with people. So when the time comes, we do Facebook seminar work. We do the direct mail seminar postcards for both the Medicare and the annuity financial planning seminars. When we talk about final expense, I don't know if we have final expense slides in here. I don't want to take forever with people, but I will say nobody is getting more leads than we are in the final expense space. We are, for those of you doing final expense, and you know that for years the mail pieces have been offering a free Walmart gift card. That is a $5 Walmart gift card. We have agents all over the country mailing that lead with massive success, ordering every month to keep a consistent flow of the final expense lead. We market the 53 to 83-year-old age group, 53 to 83. We have people that are successfully setting appointments with the folks that are over age 79, asking them to include their children in the meeting, because their children are already 60 years old, and in that way, you now have the senior who's not going to change their mind, and their children think that you're trying to get away with something, and you've got an extra prospect in the room hearing the same presentation. The 80 to 83s respond very, very well, although there's not a lot of them. We hate to omit them if we have a product that we can market to that age group. The final expense is working exceptionally well. It also, of course, has the guarantee. We tell you where to mail, what to mail, and who to mail, and then we guarantee it. We have people doing final expense very, very successfully all over the country. So I don't know if my cell phone is on the end of this presentation. I'm sure my email is. My email, Chris Weir @leadconcepts.com is not difficult to remember. However, I would like to give out my cell phone, as I do receive text messages all the time, and I respond when I get a break. My cell phone is an 817-706-7914. Again, I remind everybody on this call that I am on commission. There are 42 people that work at Lead Concepts, and by the end of the year, I expect to be closer to 50. That's a lot of people that I need to feed, and husbands, wives, spouses, kids. So as we grow, my responsibility grows, and I love being in the field and talking to people. So please feel free to reach out with any questions or thoughts. If you just send me an email address, I can have my team reach out and send you a catalog. And we make ordering just as easy as we possibly can.
Awesome. Thank you, Chris. We actually have 3 questions that have popped up for you, if I may.
Yes, please.
First of which, speaks of you have a wonderful catalog of prospecting letters. Do we have them available in other languages, specifically Spanish?
I have a wealth of Spanish versions. What I have found is that when we do Spanish only, it does not do as well as if we do an English with a Spanish translation under it. That is how we do it, and we mark it only to the Hispanic surname. We have also done virtually every other language along the way. We've done Russian, we've done Vietnamese. We have done some languages. When I look at the paper, I can't tell what in the heck it even is. So, but Spanish is the most commonly used one. So,
awesome. One of the questions that comes up again is, since many of the folks have pivoted from face-to-face presentations when it comes to the seminar selling, some of them are staging Zoom meetings and things of that nature. What are your feelings about using one of your seminar mailings for a virtual meeting?
We are excellent at creating leads for you for a virtual seminar, a webinar, if you would, on Zoom. But we have found that doing that through direct mail is not successful. We do it through Facebook. We know that if people can be on Facebook, click a link, fill out a form, and identify that they are willing to attend the virtual seminar, that they are then likely capable of joining a Zoom meeting. And so that's why we do it that way. We have tended to do a Thursday and a Saturday. I've had people do Saturday and Monday as well, but we want to include one weekend in there. But we do that through Facebook very successfully. And if you just if you'd like to text me your email address, we can take that offline and discuss.
Awesome. One of the other things that comes into play is there's a differing feeling of the concept of mailing into an area repeatedly that is pushed by some of the property and casualty organizations that, okay, we want you to own your target area. What are your feelings about repeated mailings into a same area?
Yeah, that's a great question, and one that's come up for many, many years. Drip marketing to an existing area. The issue there is if you're in a tiny little area, if you're in Mount Ida, Arkansas, and and you're limited to that area, then drip marketing does make sense. However, most people are not, and so if you were to spend $500 to mail 1,000 people and get 20 people to respond, if you mail the same people again, the same 1,000 people, you may only get about 17 responses, and one or two of those responded the first time. So even though it still cost you $500 for the next 1,000 mailers, you didn't see 20 leads, you saw really closer to 15. And the next time you mail it, it will still cost $500, but your results will be even less. So if you are able to rotate areas and mail people 3 or 4 times a year at most, the bang for your buck will be bigger and make more sense over time.
Awesome. We have numerous requests for you to lend out your phone number again. I will put that in the follow-up, but would you give folks that number again?
I will be happy to do that. My cell phone, the cell phone to the lead prophet, the guy who will tell you exactly what you need to know before you spend $1. My cell phone is 817-706-7914.
Awesome. Thank you.
I have people. Sorry.
No, it's okay. I'm sorry. I was going to the next question. I was cutting you off. I apologize.
That's all right. I just wanted to say I do have a lot of people who will say, I didn't text you because I didn't want to bother you. It's like, bother me, please. This is what I do for a living, so please bother me.
The
Okay,
old
go
Penny
ahead.
Youngman joke. Take my wife, please. The next question is, do you have annuity mailings, and how is the success of that? Annuity mailings.
Annuity mailings come in three different forms for me. The traditional sort of 65 to 80 age group, talking about elder care laws that are changing. That's a nice mailer that will pull about 1.5%. We must mail to people who have money, and when we do that, we are never going to see the same type of response percentages as some of the other mailers, as the wealthier folks just simply believe that they have all the answers to society already, and they don't need us. So we must mail to the wealthier group for the annuity-specific mailers. When we mail to the younger group, 60 to 66, talking to them about preparing for when they should sign up for Social Security, we see a higher response rate there. The challenge there is that the 60 to 66 market in today's world hasn't had enough time to really see accumulation of dollars. Oftentimes we have to get closer to 70 years old to find the accumulation. That, of course, is not across the board, but it certainly is trending that way. Once we get into that 70-year-old market, we're talking about mailing something, talking about required minimum distribution. We've got a mailer for that as well. So three different ways of marketing to the annuity. I will tell you unequivocally, I work with a lot of large annuity brokers, and what they want to do is mail the 64-year-old to high net worth people, sell the Medicare to the high net worth people, and then down the road, you'll have an annuity prospect. So the best way to find the annuity prospect is to talk to us at Lead Concepts about adjusting your Medicare mailer and putting you in front of high net worth 64-year-olds.
Awesome. There's also a request for information about funeral pre-need leads. Do you have a mailer for that?
We do a lot of our pre-need market is our one of our fastest growing markets. Been doing it for several years. Pre-need works when we talk about and we picture a funeral home. If we are not marketing for a specific funeral home, then it simply does not work well. So I don't want to take that order, but we do a lot of mailers for funeral homes. And the way we do that is we take a radius around the actual store location. And if there's 5,000 people, if there's 10,000 people, however many it is, we produce that entire mailing of all of the people around that funeral home. We divide it up into mailings of as little as 600 names, and we may mail 600 names per week or 700 names every other week. We produce the entire mailing, but we mail to a small subset of those people throughout the course of the year, because in the pre-need market, if the funeral homeowner is involved in working some of these, we can't do a mailing of 2,000 all at once or 5,000 all at once unless they're going to be doing a meet and greet, inviting people in to meet the funeral home. Then, of course, it's a one-time thing where you're inviting people in for snacks and an in-house presentation. So again, for anybody looking for more information in the pre-need, I understand that market, and I work with the funeral homes and the funeral home marketing organizations, pre-need marketing organizations, to build the best mailers for them. Those folks, especially third-generation funeral homeowners, are all about who they are and their standing in the community. Reputation in the community is a number one.
Awesome.
So please, if you'd like something on that, you can text me. Mm-hmm.
Awesome.
Yes.
We do have a very successful pre-need force within Premier Marketing as well. So thank you for that. One of the other questions, Chris, is revisiting briefly the timing of the T65 mailer. I know from my past experience not long ago, and I care to admit, with United Healthcare, they actually start marketing at 63.5 with their Medicare Made Clear pieces. So they really form some of the foundation for us. How can we piggyback off of or leverage that sort of initial marketing? And when would you suggest, as you mentioned before, beginning the T65 campaigns?
Well, I mean, typically an agent that doesn't have a lot of renewals is very resistant, understandably so, to mail people who just turned 64 because we've got to put food on the table today. So moving it back to 63.5 is a very interesting possibility that I'd love to do for someone. Obviously, it would have to be somebody who has that type of organizational structure and preparedness and residual income to be able to work that far in advance. Because at that point, you're selling prescriptions or cancer policies. You're not selling Medicare.
Yep, awesome. We do have some other programs too, specifically some of the dental, vision, hearing programs where some of those plans will take a premium increase, a sizable premium increase at 65. So marketing some of that maybe to some of the younger folks might be a possibility as well. One of the questions here as well is asking if you have a campaign specifically for Facebook ads.
We have a fantastic program in the Medicare world for Facebook ads, not for final expense. So we have done the final expense, and we have not found a final expense agent that could sell from them. And while I'm in the business of generating leads, I'm really in the business of making you money. And if you cannot sell from a Facebook lead for final expense, then I don't want to sell them. So we're doing wonderful with Medicare Facebook leads. We're an ever-evolving digital presence in the market. And so I'd have to look at what you wanted and identify when our team can onboard you into our program, as we're onboarding a handful of people at a time to make sure that the quality of our product and delivery is up to our standards. So just need to reach out to me and we'll get you in touch with our digital team to identify when we can onboard a digital platform for Facebook Medicare.
Awesome. I think part of some of these other questions, Chris, may necessitate a catalog of some of the mailers, because one of the next questions is, do you have a mail campaigns for like mortgage protection as well?
Yes, yeah. Mortgage protection, all the annuity products, all the final expense, everything you can know about Medicare. There is no cancer mailer that works. We've tried them all. We do have a dental mailer. We don't mail it a lot, but we do have one, and that's something, like you said, we might be able to focus at the sub-65 market. I had a thought and I lost it, so maybe I'll remember that.
Okay. The next question is asking what state that you're in. I think you have a national presence, but I believe you are based in Texas.
I'm based in the Dallas area. We're in Irving, Texas. And again, for me, typically this time of year, I'm not in the office much at all. I'm out traveling face-to-faces with the brokers and the carriers. And ironically, on this trip, one of my stop-offs intended that I've had to cut short was Jeff Wright, the pre-need national sales manager, Hoover, Alabama. So I did not make it. I did not get to him, but hopefully I'll get to Hoover, Alabama later this year.
There's the old thing of Annie. There's always tomorrow, Chris. The next thing too, and I apologize, I don't have a picture of the final expense mailer, but they're asking. I'm getting a question as to what the response rate spread for final expense mailers are.
Absolutely. So final expense is a function of income. The response rate is a function of income. So I can tell you that I like to mail ages 53 to 83. You don't have to mail those ages. That's who I like to mail for response. When we mail the $0 to $15,000 income parameters, we're pulling between 4, 5, and 6%. Absolutely astonishing for a final expense mailer. Nobody's mailing 0 to 15 only. Typically, we mail 0 to $40,000. We've done the studies. We know that the 40 to 50 and the 50 to 60K income parameters pull about 0.5%. So with each additional income we add to this, 15 to 20, 20 to 30, 30 to 40, the response rate drops. In most cases, we don't mail the 0 to 15 income at all because we're worried about persistency. We don't know if the agent we're talking to understands how to work somebody who's that low of an income. And I don't sell insurance. I'm not a licensed insurance agent. I'm asking myself, do I want to go into a home where the income is that low? For people who understand how to work the 0 to 15K, you're welcome to add that to your final expense mailer and increase your response percentages. Just be cautioned not to oversell. And obviously, Premier has carriers that would allow you to tie the final expense premium payment to the senior's Social Security, so that their money is drafted only moments after their Social Security check hits. That's vital in the 0 to 15K income parameter. So response rates are a function of where you mail and the income. A little bit about the age, but mostly the income and where you mail. If you want to mail in Georgia, North Carolina, or South Carolina, you are going to have lower response rates. 1.5% would be a win in Georgia, North Carolina, South Carolina. Arkansas pulls exceptionally well for final expense, 2.5% guarantee, but it'll probably pull 3 points. Michigan, Minnesota, Wisconsin pull exceptionally well. So it just depends on where you're mailing. And beyond that, if you said, Chris, tell me where I can mail where I'm going to get the highest response rate in Oregon, well, our team will do the research and take a look at it. And if we've got enough data in there, we can take off the 30 to 40K, stay 15 to 30 or 0 to 30. Flatten that data out. Yeah, a little bit more windshield time, driving a bit more, but going to get higher response rate if we can flatten that data to the people who we know are more likely to respond.
Awesome. And much of the carriers now are really giving us tools that enable us to sell virtually as well. So that gives us an opportunity as an agent to, one, restrict your windshield time, and also expand your propinquity. I wanted to use that word, Chris. So you can go a little further out and make a difference.
Well, I can tell you and everyone on this call, if you're doing Medicare or final expense and you're doing it virtually, that's important for our sales team to know, because yes, we can spread you out. I can do half of an entire state and put you with just the people that are most likely to respond, and you will see higher response rates, sometimes shockingly high, when we can flatten the data and keep you in front of only the very best prospects. But if you're driving face-to-face, door-to-door, then I wouldn't want to do that to you, and you'd be mad at me if I spread you over half the state.
That's right, particularly in the great state of Texas, where we run all over the world, and it's a shorter flight from one end of Texas to El Paso than it is El Paso to LA, so it all depends.
Oh, boy.
Okay, I think we've covered the questions, Chris. We've got just a few slides to finish the presentation. I realize we're at the top of the hour. Thank you, Chris, for fielding those questions so well and succinctly. Some of the things that we wanted to throw out to you really quickly as well is the additional help you get by working through Premier. We have a system that can help you contract easily and virtually through our Assurance Bay. It enables you to create an agent profile and contract with carriers electronically. to make certain that it makes it simpler for you, gives you access to a greater number of carriers without having to go through the paper portion of it that many of us see. We also offer a program for discounted errors and admissions coverage for qualified agents. What makes you a qualified agent? You got a contract with us, but this is a program you own and covers you regardless of whom you contract through with the different insurance products. It's different than being added to a blanket E&O for just one carrier, and you have to worry about how you satisfy the contracting requirements and not own E&O on your own. We have a similar system in play for continuing education through our association with WebCE to help you keep your license in play, and you can add to your own benefit package through a modified guarantee issued DI policy where you share in the commission on a policy on yourself to protect your income. Much as where today's presentation is being recorded and will be available on premiersmi.com and on our YouTube channel as well. You do have an opportunity to go back into the library for past presentations about different sales techniques, different carriers, or different categories of programs available to you. As Chris mentioned, where you have an opportunity to pull in your lead responses electronically, we have a system that will allow you then to also take those leads and put them into Medicare Center so you can do a comprehensive review of their benefits, be they for Medicare Advantage, PDP, or Medicare Supplement programs, a single sign-on for 3 of the quoting tools with a CRM available for you there as well. And many of the carriers in different parts of the insurance world will offer different trips and incentives. It doesn't apply in the Medicare Advantage or PDP world because of the set commission set by the government, but it gives you a space on our website to go and look at the different programs that are available to you that may qualify you for additional dollars or incentives with the carriers, different trips with the carriers, or help you also qualify for Premier's programs as well, where this last year, because of COVID, the cruise turned into cash for agents who qualified. We do offer other lead programs for you as well, contact lead lists that are butted up against Do Not Call at either a nominal rate or free for you depending upon your contracting situation. We do also offer information on different community-based marketing programs, live or virtual, and the retail space for faith-based organizations and different providers of the programs that or actually fulfill the need for the care of the programs that we offer. And many of those carriers do offer generated lead prospects, most of them through the AEP season, but if you have established a relationship with a carrier, they will, in many circumstances, help you market year-round as well. We do also offer other internet lead programs and the direct mail support. The internet lead programs, we do have a couple of other ones that speak to final expense and Medicare supplement leads. The direct mail support is based on production. So this is a way that you can do the most necessary of things when it comes to some of the direct mail programs, and that is doing it consistently. So if you do a number of applications with us for either the Medicare ancillary space or a secondary additional program with final expense, it helps you do that consistently. So it's like exercise. You do it once, you're going to feel some of the pain, may not see the results you want. You do it consistently, that's where you're going to see the programs come into play for you and be more effective. We do offer these support programs through a number of vetted programs. You see what's listed here first with Lead Concepts, a great partner that can help you in that regard. Additional programs also on the final expense side, as I mentioned, 2 different programs that can come into play for you. There are agents that will want to just buy the responses. We have a couple of programs set up for you in that space as well in the Medicare and final expense world. The challenge you have with buying responses is generally they're not as fresh as if you create your own campaign and get the responses the same day as what Chris mentioned. And we know what happens if a lead festers or lays there, I should say, for a period of time, or you have some folks, I don't remember doing that. So it is available to you. It's an option for folks too, and may help with some of your budgets. But one of the things we want to stress is the persistency of your practice. Whatever you're delivering, do it consistently so you can see the results and not feel the pain. And remember, you don't necessarily want to put all your eggs in one basket. So you have a multitude of campaigns that you can access. We're going to check for anything additional here on the question side. The last one that pops up is, will there be a replay? If so, can we find it? Yes, one of the things that you'll find in the follow-up we send to you will be a link to the recording of today's presentation. And keep in mind, we are looking to earn your business as well as Lead Concepts, and Chris is as well. And so we want to make ourselves available to you. We want you to realize that this can be a very valuable part of your personal marketing plan, and direct mail can be used to support the other ways that you're reaching out to the public to publicize you and your services. So you can reach any of us at Premier at 1-800-365-8208 or through our website at premiersmi.com. It is something, too, that we will follow up and make certain that we can answer the questions that you have about Lead Concepts and direct mail and the programs we have to tie this into a successful overall marketing plan. That is our purpose. Much as what Chris mentioned, we're on commission as well. We don't make money if you don't make money, and so we want to make certain that we support you in the fashion that is necessary in order to create that whole process and get that ball rolling. So all that said and done, Chris, I thank you for coming on the line with us today and helping us with the presentation. We strongly recommend doing business with Lead Concepts, and we look forward to the discussions we have with the folks who have joined us on today's webinar, and value that conversation because we realize your time is your most valuable asset. So that said, we'll end today's call. We look forward to speaking with you in the very near future. And until that time, hey, we wish you good selling. Thanks so very much, and we'll talk to you so very soon.